Okay, welcome back. How's that? Is that better? Hello, hello. Hey, Judy, welcome. Hi, Lisa. So is the audio better? Okay, I'll bring it up so you can see my face. There we go. Oh, good. Okay. I think what happened was in my new setup, oh, I got a tickle. I think in my new setup, it is trying to natively use my onboard microphone. So, and of course, it's also using my external microphone, which is causing the echo. Okay, so I'll have to get that fixed for the next one. Just couldn't figure out where it was quickly. Awesome, awesome. Hi, Sandy. Hey, Annette, how are you doing? You haven't gotten your sprayer out of the box yet. Woman, don't make me come over there. Although I think you're up north, so you're safe. I'm not going anywhere in the winter. I stay right here in Florida. Unless somebody was like on the verge of dying. Especially with the winter season you guys are having now. So we're gonna have some fun tonight. I got into another show the 23rd of March, so yay. It's actually, this one's kind of neat. It's at the new community center they just built, which I didn't even know about. So it was kind of fun to stumble on this one, and it's over right across the street from the beach. So, and it's like nestled right in the middle of all these condominiums and big towers, and then they have a big tennis tournament going on, and so it's going to be very busy that weekend that we're going to be there. So I should do well, and that's exciting. I'm trying to find all these new venues, you know, now that we've moved. Yeah, I think it's the double microphones, Lisa, so I'm going to have to figure that out. I tell you, I'm using this software called OBS, and while there's a lot of videos out there for it, I had trouble initially figuring out how you do the splash screen, the background, get my video up in the corner. So a friend of mine, who I haven't met in person. I mean, I call her a friend, but she's from another group, in a painting group that I've been a part of for years now. And she admins that group, and she has always had a screen like that. So I pinged her and asked her how she set it up. So she was very, very nice and sent me a video she made on some of the steps she did. So it's exciting. It's fun. It's always nice to have something different. And having that split screen, you're going to be able to see closer up of the cup while I'm kind of smaller up in the corner. Make mom happy and see my face, right? And who was it that made the comment that your husband, you were watching the rerun of the live? I can't recall who that was, and I'm sorry, but that your husband saw me at one point, saw my face and said she does have a face. And of course, my mom just started laughing when she read that comment. And I laughed because I said, oh my goodness, I wasn't sure what he was going to say that he saw. I was like, uh-oh. So luckily it was my face. Yeah, so a lot of fun things coming. So I'm looking forward. I'm hoping, well, March will be my last show for the season, because then it gets too hot. It's not fun or pleasant to be in the summer, you know, here in Florida doing something like that outside. So no, thank you. And then I'll pick it up again probably October, November, you know, in time for the Thanksgiving holidays and stuff coming up. So that'll be fun. So I am reaching goals. I'm like really, really. That was you, Lisa? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I thought you get a kick out of that. That was my first reaction as mom was reading me the comment, right? I was like, uh-oh, what did I flash? What did I do? But I am excited. I'm reaching goals. I hope everybody has goals. I hope that you're setting them for yourselves, whether it be personal, for your business, for something you want to learn. I think it's important. We challenge ourselves that way, and that's what keeps us young, and it keeps us wanting to wake up and be excited for the day. It's my personal belief. So I have business goals, and those are that we reach 1,000, and that 1,000 is both in our group. So that is growing, like excited. Every day we see some new people. And then on my page. So if you haven't already, to like and follow my page, please do so. And, you know, share that out to your friends. Help me grow that initiative on my business. That would be awesome. And let's have some fun tonight. So I don't know. I saw a cup the other day. You know, we've seen peekaboo cups, right? And peekaboo is really what they're saying when they take the whole cup and they glitter it, which we're going to do tonight. So there's nothing fancy. You just glitter your cup and you just get, you know, nice, pretty sparkly glitter and get a nice even layer. And then probably it's going to need another coat of resin because you want it nice and smooth. But instead of using paint, like a lot of people use spray paint and then rub off areas or whatever, or put a template on there and spray paint over the template, I'm going to put a vinyl down and leave it, right? So what I'm going to do tonight, because I really like that look, it was crisp, it was clean, and it's kind of fun. So I found images that I haven't cut them out yet, and I'll show you that in another video. But I have images of what I call tribal tattoos, and but they're really cool because they're just lines, you know, black lines, and I printed out, or I'm going to cut out on vinyl these tribal tattoos, and they have like a whale, that inside the whale they have dolphins, you know, so it's all themed around the ocean. And then what I'll do with those is they're going to go all around the cup. They're going to pretty much, you know, cover that cup, but everywhere that those openings are, that glitter will show through. And then we're going to put another coat of resin on top of that. Right, so it's a peekaboo effect. But what's cool about that version is you get more of your glitter, right? You see more of the glitter because you put all this glitter on, and then with the spray paint method, you really don't see a whole lot of your glitter except for where you had your stickers and you pulled them off. So that'll be a fun cup. So I'm doing it in the corally color here, and then the vinyl is going to be, of course, aqua. Aqua. So I love those colors. This is the 20-ounce tall thin, which I got from Hog, and they're really cool. I mean, I have to say I have 3 20-ounce versions now. I have this. Let me grab them for you because it's pretty neat. I've got this one from Hog. I've got this 20-ounce from Arctic, which I just love this. So it looks just like our 30-ounce ones, but this is the 20-ounce. I love that shape. And then I have the Built, let's see. Yeah. These are another brand actually, tumblers. So these are all 20 ounces. I mean, it's like incredible, right? And then I have a Built, but I don't have him out here. So I guess I have 4 types, the different shapes of the 20 ounce. And my focus for the show this time is to have more 20 ounces, more of my low balls, because the women were buying mostly in my last 2 shows, and, you know, they'd pick up the cup and they didn't like the really big heavy cups. I don't blame them. So they were buying the small cups, but they were buying the 30-ounce cups or the bigger ones for their husbands. So, but I had more sales on my 20. So that is my market. Yeah, Lisa, we need to make that cup turner. So I have the parts. I'm waiting for everybody in the group to say they are ready. So just check off on the group that you're ready for me. You know, let me know. Let me see it in the group that you're ready. And then I'll know that we can get a live scheduled. And we can make it. Hey, Teresa, I'm glad you made it. Howdy, howdy. So I was just, you haven't missed a whole lot. I was just talking about the different looks of all the 20-ounce tumblers that I have, like 4 different looks now, which I think is amazing and pretty cool. So it helps kind of make it look different, but at the same time, I'm offering the market that I have an option, a lot of options. So the peekaboo is what we're going to make first. And not real exciting. I'm going to put glitter on it, and that's going to be, you know, it has to dry. And then the second layer will be just a clear coat to cover the glitter and make it all smooth. And then the third thing we're going to do is put the vinyl templates down, but I'm going to leave those vinyl templates down. They're going to be permanent. So I'm going to pick a pretty vinyl that I want to leave on there. So it's going to be an aqua color with this coral. And then we're going to put another layer of resin on top of that, right? So it'll be a peekaboo coming through the stencils that I'm going to inlay there. And then the second cup we're going to make is some beer steins. They are 16-ounce beer steins, I think these are. And I got them also from Hog. They're the new ones that they just started advertising, and I wanted to get a couple, see how they worked. They've got handles on them. So we're going to do airbrush alcohol ink like we did on this cup here. And I wanted to show you how this one turned out. So that's now got the resin on it, nice and sealed up. I decided to not put any decals on this. I really kind of liked the way it looked. It just kind of, every time I look at it, I see either flowers in the meadow or like right there, I see like a, I see sea oats, you know, going out to the ocean. I just kind of see different things every time I look at it. And I just decided to leave that one and not put any decals on it. So I really like that. So tonight we're going to do something similar on the beer stein, okay, with the airbrush. So I'm still working with the airbrush, but this is the best way, in my opinion, to get used to the technique, moving the gun and things like that, and handling the trigger. And then I'll start playing with some inks in there. You're buying the parts and leaving them with directions on Marty's desk. That's a good plan, Lisa. Oh, you're ready? Okay, Teresa, that's good. So we have one ready. Lisa's ready. Kathy's ready. Okay. What do you charge for the short one? For the low ball, this is $25. Yep. So these are really neat. I love those. These were on special, you know, after the holiday, and I kind of wish I'd bought a ton more because I really like that. For me, I mean, they're fatter, but they handle nice. I really like them, and they're well-made cup. These actually have a screw on top as well, and they've got a seal. So, you know, they don't pop off. So that's the first one I've seen with the screw on top. And I don't charge for shipping in the US. So $25, and that's it. I'm not charging any more for that. I also wanted to mention, thank you, Annette. And hi. Yes, Pixie, this is one of her favorites, but it's all her colors too, so it is gorgeous. I really love this one. It came to life. I also wanted to mention that any cup I'm making that doesn't have a home, I mean, I'm basically making some of the stuff now just for my inventory for the show, but I also do experiments, right? So you guys have seen that. If it doesn't have a home and you want it, message me, and the first one that messages me is the first option, right? You're the first choice. You get first dig. And then you also get 10% off of that cup that I made during live. Okay, as long as you message me during my live that you wanted that cup. Oh, Alicia, you're ready too. Well, then, you know what? I'll go ahead and get a live scheduled, right? And we'll how about, trying to think what my weekend looks like. My mom is so funny. We decided to, we've been waiting and looking everywhere for a center island for our kitchen. We've been using like a bar cart, a big bar cart, and it's driving me crazy. So we wanted to get an island. We finally found one. It was on sale, so we snapped it up. And it comes from Wayfair, right? So we get this email saying that it's coming and it's going to be here today. So we made all the preparations, and Mom and I were on an errand, and we told my dad, who maybe weighs 100 pounds soaking wet, that if they come to the door, you know, kind of ask them if they could bring it in for you. So they came and they dropped one box, right? I mean, it's not a very big box. And I said, there's no way that all those parts are in that box because it's got a granite top and everything. So we're trying to figure that out. So I don't know what my weekend's going to look like yet. I don't know if I'm building that and how much building is involved. I always laugh because the inside joke with my mom and I is that everything that we've bought for this house so far has come from IKEA or something like IKEA, and I'm having to build all of that furniture. So me. So we always look at these pictures. We're like, oh, that's really beautiful. And then she looks at me and going, it's probably something you have to build. But anyway, if I'm not really, really tied down that way this weekend, maybe Saturday. Homeless cup caption for my business page. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Actually, you know what my caption is? I just got my new card. Just got my new cards. So I remade them I used up my first order of the 500. So I was close to running out. So I said, okay, I need to order more. And I thought, well, I'm not going to get the same ones again. I wanted to up it a little bit and make it different. So the caption I have is Blackwell Art Corner, and then making naked cups beautiful, one cup at a time. That's my mission. Because it pains me. I don't know about you ladies and gents, but I tell you, when I'm out and about and I see somebody with one of these empty stainless steel cups and they're drinking out of it, it pains me. It's like, I need to make your cup pretty. I can't handle that. You're at a turtle conference this weekend. Lisa, that's awesome. Does that mean they're ramping up for the turtle season? Because I thought that was later. Although it's spring. I guess it's spring, isn't it? Holy cow. That's cool, Lisa. I'll have to check into the turtle center here and find out what's going on. I like turtles. Okay. So anyway, if I'm not tied down with screwdrivers and drills and stuff this weekend, then you might see a live and maybe I'd like to do it during the day. You know, like maybe Saturday or Sunday. So if y'all have a preference for which day you'd like to do the live this weekend, I'd love to know, and then I can get that scheduled and we'll make that turner. It won't take us that long. If you have all the parts and everything, we'll just kind of go through it. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I love that card. This card I'm actually more excited about than my first card I had, which was really cute. A lot of people liked it. They made a lot of comments off of it. You're open, Lisa? Okay. I'd have a heart attack, Sandy. Yeah, I probably would. I was sitting in an office somewhere, waiting room. And this lady was asking me what I did. And so I told her what I work full time. And then I said, you know, I also do this. And we got to talking and I just laughed. I said, I can't handle watching your cup like that. And she looked over and she just started laughing. Okay, Annette, we will pause. Wait for Annette. Somebody got the Jeopardy song? The season starts in May. Okay. Oh, the state nesting contest for Orlando. Oh, wow. Conference, rather. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know they did that. Are you doing that as a volunteer? So May. So that's good. I've got time. I need to go over to the turtle place here. We've got a beautiful one here in Ponce Inlet. And see if I can get in with their group so that I can help them with the nest. So I'm just mixing up my resin. When you're doing glitter cups, you want to use not as much resin as you do like when you're doing the normal coating with your pigments and things like that. So normally I would put 10, or well, for this size cup, I usually normally would use about 8 to 10 milliliters each. And this one though, today I'm going to try 6 of each. And if it's too much, I'll just wipe it off, right? So we're going to put it on there, heat it up, and we'll see how thick it is. Reason being is because if you have too much resin, it saturates your glitter. And then you end up with those, like you'll see sparkly glitter, and then you'll have these spots that look like they're dull, right? And that's because your resin, you have too much resin, and it just soaked up your glitter. So you either can, if it's still wet, you either can add more glitter to those spots and hope that it does, you know, kind of evens out, or yeah, I mean, or you can do, you're going to probably have to do another layer of glitter when it dries if it isn't something fixable when it's wet. Okay, I gotta find a home for my stick. Oh, I better stick him over here because my lucky will stick to something I don't want him to stick to. All right. So again, if you haven't liked my Facebook page, Blackwell Art Corner, please do. And then it also will let you know, it'll trigger you when I'm going live. So there's 2 benefits of that, but it helps me and it helps me meet my goals. Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship, Teresa, too. You notice I don't do a lot of glitter cups. And I have to laugh. I haven't done glitter in months, probably 3 months. Well, since, yeah, no, I say that. I did glitter on that big wine carafe I have, right? That was about a month ago. I am still getting glitter on me when I clean up. I'm still finding it. On this cup that I painted, I just noticed I had a couple of spots of glitter. And it's like, where the heck did you come from? I paint them outside. After a while, you feel like you're breathing out glitter. I mean, it's like they're just showing up. So if I ever had an x-ray, they probably would find glitter in my lungs. And I don't even use it that much. Some of these people, that's all they do is glitter. It's like, holy cow, I don't know how you do that. And some I've noticed on Facebook now, some are saying that they do their glitter in a totally different room. And it's like, oh my God, can you imagine? I could not imagine. My whole house would be taken over by my craft if I started doing that. That would not be good. And luckily my dog is light, so if she is getting glitter in her coat, I'm not seeing it. Or I had a black lab there for a while, and she would have shown. It's like, oh, you were in my studio today, weren't you? She used to, every time I painted the house, the walls and stuff, it never failed. Molly, my black lab, would lean on one of the walls. And she'd come see me later, and all of a sudden I'd see this paint on her tail or on her body. And it's like, oh, great. Now I get to go figure out which wall you leaned on. Never failed. And the crazy part was, to me, it was walls that she never used to really be around. Just because I painted them. She was a helper. So we're just going to get this fine, real thin layer. And this, I can tell now that it's more than I'm going to need, but I'm going to heat it up. And then I'll just wipe it off a little bit as we go. So, oh, you know what? Before I heat it up, let me tell you guys a warning. I am always very careful about where I set my heat gun, and especially after I've used it, because it stays hot forever. You know, this top nozzle here stays very, very hot. I mean, look how, you know, it's hotter than your oven, right? And it's pretty instant. So every time I use it, I try to set it in the center of the table, somewhere away from where I'm working. And if it fell over to the side, it's not going to burn something I care about. So be very, very cautious about that. I did not do that the other day. Reached across the table and I sizzled the heck out of my arm there. So nothing worse than burns, if you ask me. And it was a stupid move, but I'm paying the price. What kind of spray paint I use? You know, I tried different spray paints, and I have to say I've been the happiest with the Rust-Oleum brand. For my base coats, normally, let me grab it. This is my favorite for the clear and for the white. You know, and they're black, that variety. Okay, those are my favorites. For the colors, most of the colors and stuff I have are also Rust-Oleum. I do have a few Krylon, but the Krylon to me runs. I get drips, and it doesn't matter how I spray it. Same techniques on my other ones. I don't get drips. So or I have to do more coats of it. So I just started buying this one, and I've been happy with it. Once you find something you like, stick with it. It doesn't pay to change your brand. That's all I can tell you, because I've done that with water slides and stuff too, and I've regretted it, because then I had this whole thing of things that I didn't want to use. All right, so let me heat this up real quick. Yeah, but it's like cautious, right? Because we have a lot of stuff in our lives that we're working with in these rooms, and it's not necessarily safe for us, but especially not for young children, pets. We got to be careful about all that. And when it comes to this kind of thing, I mean, look how hot that is, right? You do not want that anywhere near your skin, your body. You don't want to mistakenly go to pick it up by the nozzle. I mean, you got to be very, very careful with this stuff. Okay, so it doesn't need a lot. You can tell when it starts to just, you know, really smooth out. It's not cool anymore. So that resin just decides, hey, yeah, I'm going to level out here. All right, so now we're just going to kind of rub this off. I can tell I've got a lot on here. And again, if you have too much, it saturates your glitter. So it just makes life a little harder. You just want enough imagine this, if you were doing Mod Podge, right, you would just put on enough to make it stick, right? Same thing with your resin. You do not need a lot of resin. And if you're doing chunky, that's a little different. You might need a little bit more. But if you're moving along and you find, okay, it's just not quite sticking enough, I need a little bit more glitter, you can use something like Loctite, you know, spray on it before it's dry and add a little bit more glitter. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, I think he's good there. Yeah, see how much I took off? So it's better to do that than to find out, you know, in the process you have too much. So I'm gonna, oh, that'll be fine there. Okay, so what I'm using is just a variety of glitters. I got this one, where did I get this one? I Connect with Stubby Glitter. I think I got this, yeah, I think this is a coral iridescent. I think I got this on Amazon, honestly. I can't remember. This one doesn't have anybody's label that I recognize, so I must have picked it up on Amazon. Stubby Glitter. It's a pretty coral, but it's a iridescent, so I think that'll be real pretty. And that's why I did the base color of the cup the way I did, because iridescence, right, let it show through. Yeah, you're right, Teresa. That you know what? You know how I found out about the Krylon and the acetone was their stupid clear coat, right? So I'm using the clear coat because it was on sale, and I was like, oh, you get that extra percentage or whatever. I go over and start doing my water slides, and it just melted them. You know, my images, I could just see them melting. No, Krylon is bad juju. Bad, bad. Yeah, and it doesn't cover without multiple coats. And it's like, okay, why am I paying for this when the Rust-Oleum done? You know, most of my coats of my cups, I actually, my Arctic ones I got on sale, and they have stripes on them and stuff, right? So I go out there with the white and one and done. I mean, I'm impressed with the Rust-Oleum. Yes, use a respirator. I don't use it during lives. You wouldn't be able to hear me. I have a full face mask respirator. I will tell you this too. You know, resin is a chemical. It's a chemical reaction when you put part A and part B together. When you open up the container of part A, it's got that odor, most of them, you know, some have more, some have less, but they are very toxic chemicals. They have a reaction and they heat with that reaction. So that heat releases that chemical into the air. Okay. So when we heat it, when they're reacting together to create the process, it goes into your air. And so what happens is you're breathing it in, it comes in through your skin, it goes in through your eyeballs. So you are absorbing that resin. That's why it's important to have good ventilation and to have your respirator mask on and to wear gloves and wipe up and clean up really good. I have had major reactions, allergic reactions, where I don't have allergies to anything normally. And it actually took me to the ER a couple of times. So that typically for me has been a different brand of resin than what I'm using now. It also was because I was doing a lot more of resin quantity at the one time. So I was doing big paintings and stuff like that. So I'd have a lot more resin out, and I'm working with it more, you know, longer. And I'd wake up the next morning and whew, I had to go to the ER. So yes, it very, very cautious. Read your fact sheet that comes with your resin brand. They all have a slight difference to them, but they will all tell you, you know, to take those precautions. I'm a fanatic about it. And if you want to know more, I think there's even a Facebook group about resin, what you don't like or don't know about resin or something like that. So just educate yourself. Don't rely on other people, you know, to say, hey, it's safe or it's not safe. Go and do your own research. And if you want to ask your doctors, I also advise you to take in the box information, the ingredient information, because who knows what resins are, right? Unless they're working with them or they've experienced them themselves. Most of them don't know what's in resin. So they're not going to tell you 100% the facts unless you take that knowledge into them. Okay. So just my advice. That's the way I roll. But because I'm on lives, I don't do that. And I have a window. You know, I'm in Florida, so I've got my windows open. So it's nice and ventilated in here. Boy, this shaker is tough to get out. He's not pouring very fast, but that's okay. Better that than have a flood. I'm kind of wondering now if maybe I'll try this side. Oh, you know what? He doesn't even have the other side. All right, let's try it. Jean's going rogue. There we go. Isn't that pretty? This is a pretty glitter. As glitters go. Whoops. Have some glitter. You know, I don't know about you ladies, but when I'm doing my cups, especially if I'm coming up with something that I haven't ever done before, or I haven't seen anybody else do before, you're trying to be creative, right? I get visions of what I want them to come out like. They don't always come out exactly like you envisioned, but if they're close, right, then you're on the mark. Then you're doing what you wanted to do, what you saw. Sometimes I can't even sleep at night because I have a painting or something in my head that I have to get out. And so I'll come out here, you know, midnight, 1 o'clock. I've thought about maybe doing lives, but then I'm too lazy. I don't want to go put a bra and get dressed. So it's just me, you know, in the wee hours doing my paintings or whatever to get it out of my head. It's like a song. They won't leave you alone. But I don't know how many others it happens to, but to me, that's typically how I come up with the stuff I do. Or the colors I use. Okay, I'm going to get my gloves on, and I'm going to show you, because this is a little chunkier glitter. And what I like to do is just tap it down a little bit. You know, because it kind of, let me show you real quick. It kind of gets a little rough. So you can see on the horizon there, they're sticking up. Okay, and if I didn't do anything, that's fine. I'm still putting another coat of resin over it to smooth it out, but it'll just be that much less that I have to do. There we go. Isn't that pretty color? Hey, Marilyn, welcome. No dumb questions. No, Alicia. How do you get the glitter on the very bottom of the cup? Like the part that sits on the table. Yeah. Did you see me tip it? So I just pick up my cup turner and I just get it there. And you also can take, when I get my gloves on, I'll show you. You also can take your hand with your glove on it and just pat it on there yourself. So either one works, but typically I just tip my cup up. Ooh, it's hard to get gloves on when you got a little sweaty going on. Yeah, boy. Okay, so you can kind of take it, pat it in there. That's pretty good for the bottom. All right, but what I like to do is right here on that edge, because it does like to try and stick up there, okay? And now I'm just going to come along, pat her down, because we get all those little strays hopefully pushed into the resin. And that saves you a lot of work. It saves you from possibly having to sand. It saves you from having to put on a really thick coat or two of resin before you take your next step. So this is something I learned from somebody along the way. And thank you very much for showing that in one of your lives, whoever that was, because it saved me some time. This glitter is interesting because it does have like shaved pieces. They're not all cut. I can see some of them sticking. So that's kind of a pain, like right there. But it's beautiful color. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware there's all these different kinds of glitter. You have your craft glitters that you get like at Michael's. You have some more expensive glitters that you can buy. I think even Amazon sells some of them. Polyester, you know, or plastic, I call it. But you also have metal glitters that you can get. Those are the ones you want to make careful that you do not sand, because if you sand and you use metal glitter, you're going to take the color off. You won't be happy. So just be aware of what you're using. Okay, come on. Sticky. Try and get some of these little guys that are popping up like aliens. It's like whack-a-mole. I love that game. Brought out a lot of anxiety, and at the same time, it got a lot of frustration out. Okay, so we're just gonna try and get that down in there. Now, I have another color here. I'm not sure if I need to use it. This is really pretty. I have a smaller glitter that I had on hand just in case I needed to fill in around the bigger glitter. You know, your chunk glitter sometimes does not cover the whole area of the cup. So sometimes that's where the softer, the smaller size glitter, fine glitter comes in. Fill those gaps up. If I have a preference on glitter, I will say it's holographic and the iridescence, because they show. I mean, that's why you want to use glitter, right? Because they're shiny and pretty. Man, it just keep popping up. That's looking better. But there's one down there. He does not want to stay down. I wonder if I can just pull him out. Right there. Yep, he's gone. Give me a minute here to read the questions. I got glitter hands. Okay. So hopefully your week is going good. I know we're just Wednesday, but halfway. I got to pick up my taxes tomorrow. I got to find out how that affects me. I'm hoping. I usually get money back because I take out so much. But from what I'm hearing, that might not happen this year. So I have no idea if I owe money or not. We shall find out. So tonight I'm happy. I figured we'd do a live. Oh, did I push it down too far? Let me move her up. There we go. All right, there. Make mom happy. Yeah, isn't that pretty? That sparkle is pretty. Set this down. Ooh, I really even cleaned up my desk. I'm telling you, I can even see my desk. I know, Teresa, yeah, it's driving me a little nuts here. I got most of the big ones off, I think. They look like little aliens popping up. Thank you. Yeah, I had like these colors that I thought, well, maybe I needed to fill in with, but I'm not thinking I need to. He's pretty covered. That's a pretty glitter. Okay, so we are going to move to the other station. We'll let this guy spin. Nothing else we can do with him now. And then I'll show, you know, the next process, right? In the next live I do this weekend, I will show you the next stage that I'm doing with this. So let's get another close-up while I move you over to the other station. I'm going to have you sit here while I move the laptop. That way you don't get seasick. Oh, shit. Yes, I just let one out. Okay. Get the resin off of there. Oh, boy. It's always something, isn't it? Y'all got seasick anyway, didn't you? All right, let me move this. Oh, man. Sorry about that. We are having some technical difficulties. Oh, Lordy. Help me. Trying to get everything moved. I thought it was just a matter of spinning it around, but then the cables are making. Sorry about that. Like I get it all set up for the one workstation and then it just decides, not easy. Not easy being cheesy. Everybody still with me? Yeah, I know. Don't hit the cup. It was close. It was close. Just a headache. Sorry, Kim. Yeah, it is a pretty glitter, Nanette. Okay, so let me get the camera over here. And I'm going to figure out how best to set this. Get him nice and stable. Bring you back down. Okay, so we've got the cup over here, but I'm going to situate it a little better for you to see. So here is the cup. This is the 14 ounce beer stein that is offered from Hog. It came all silver, right? So I've base coated it with this pretty aqua, kind of a really light seafoam green, actually. And I've got 2 of them, and we're going to use the alcohol inks. I've got a whole bunch here that I want to play with. So I've got a mixture of the Tim Holtz. Let me grab my chair, guys. Hang on. Got a mixture of the Tim Holtz and of the Zig. Now the Zig is on Marker Supply. I really like these guys. Some of them are kind of translucent, and some aren't. So it's just different colors do different things. But between the 2 color groups from these brands, I find they're very pretty, very fun to work with. Alrighty, I think, let's see how that works. Might turn this a little bit more for you. Just trying to get the angle for you. Yeah, I don't want to put my laptop behind it. I will tell you, when I'm doing the airbrush, it does blow it. It blows the ink. So you want to be cautious about what's around. It's easy to clean up, but it you know, it's a mess. All right. So I'm going to get that going, let the air come up. I had a So the air is building up in it, so I got to make sure it's at the right setting here. Is that okay? Can y'all still hear me all right? Oh, good, Marilyn. Hi, Lisa. I'm going to have a fancy beer mug. Yeah, yeah. These 2 beer mugs I got as a test run, and so of course I'm getting them. I'm doing them for Mom and Dad. These are her colors. Okay. So let me set this real quick. Hold on. Okay, that looks about right. Sorry about that. Moving it, I guess the adjustment changed. All right. Okay, so this is the fun thing. Put this over here. Just moving things out of the way of my knees. So there's really, no. It's like coloring. That's the way I look at this. It's just an experiment of coloring, and you put on your inks and you blow them into the direction that you want. And if you want to slow it down, you can, get in front of it. So it's really just a matter of getting comfortable holding the gun. All right. So let me get the ink covers off. I've got my favorite peach Bellini. I really love this one, Tim Holtz. So like I said, I have a bunch of colors, and they're all going to be in the green, teals, light blues. Heard it creeping up there again. All right, this one is the salmon. So I have a couple of them that are outside of those two blues. I have a sandal. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that one yet. Turquoises. All right, now these zigs I use, this is the cobalt blue, it calls it, but it really looks more like an aqua. And this is the turquoise green, which is pretty close to a turquoise. This is the pale aqua, so that version, but a little lighter. And this one is light blue. He's very translucent, so it's kind of a fun one to use. So let me move the handle down first. I'm going to dress the handle after. Alrighty. You just got to kind of get to the point where you're comfortable with the ink. Okay, so then you drop the inks on. I'm going to start with my blues and just kind of play with that. No right or wrong. I mean, you learn from it. And you can build on these. And then you can use some blending solution or some rubbing alcohol to move the color, okay? Because they dry pretty quick, especially when you put an air on them like this. All right, so let's see. I need to get you in. All right, so we're not going to see my face. I think what I'm going to do is bring you over. Keep the camera from falling again. There we go. Okay. I'm going to say a good angle here for you. All right, let's see how that works for you. Bring it back over. All right. And you kind of run it, you know, if you don't want the spiders going all the way up, then you just don't put the air on anymore over there. Let's see, that's the sandal. I'm going to wait on the sandal. Put a little peach in there. And you just kind of build on these colors. Wait, oh, just see that. There you go. Here's the salmon. This is a pretty color. Yeah, I like how that's doing it. Okay. Yeah, feel free to ask questions. I can stop here. That's a pretty rich color. This is the Mermaid. I like that one. It's got a lot more of the aqua blue in it. There we go. Okay, that's cool. I don't know how many of you have tried it on Yupo. Have you played with the Yupo paper and alcohol inks? That's another good place to practice it. I did that, and it was fun because I could take the Yupo paper when it was done and I could frame it, put it into some pictures. Let's see what the salmon looks like. All right, that's pretty. It's got a lot of orange in it. That's kind of pretty, though. Mixed in with the peel. Back there, though. So if you want to thin it out a little bit, you just let that alcohol sit there for a second or two before you move it. And he'll start kind of playing with those other colors. See that little spot there? That's what I did. So right there, because it is alcohol, it's going to, by sitting there, it's going to move those colors a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. The nice thing about alcohol inks is if you don't like it, you just come back with some rubbing alcohol and wipe it off. Start over again, okay? Or if you don't like that one spot, you just put a drop of rubbing alcohol there. Problem solved. Because it'll help you open up that ink and move it around again. Sometimes as I'm going through this, what will happen is you get the inks kind of getting too dark in an area. They've just puddled up. And so that's where the blending solution or alcohol can come in handy. Okay, let's put a green over here. Now with the airbrush, you want to make sure you don't have too much air, too hard a pressure, because it will really blow things all over the place then. So I keep mine about 20, 25, somewhere in there. So this starts to make it look like little flowers, I think. But when we're done here, I'll show you guys what I made earlier today too. Might help you out. You should have seen me picking up all the parts in the PVC aisle there at the hardware store. Some of these men are like, what are you doing with all that? But yep, I'm buying all this, and nope, it's got nothing to do with plumbing. This blue is really beautiful. He's very light. He's a good color to use when you want to help blend some of the others, right? Because he's making that, see, he's making that ink move. So I see if I can get that in the picture. There you go, right here. So it kind of makes it look like a background. This is really pretty. that is a good blend-in color right there. Oh, in case you're wondering, this shirt has spots on it, so he's kind of a paint shirt now. I lost a pair of shorts the other day, too, because I was painting in my closet, which is a very confined space. So, of course, I backed into one of the walls. That's how most of my clothes end up in my paint pile. Now, the very bottom of my cups, I don't worry too much about because I get the edges, because I put a label there, a care label. So you're not going to see most of the bottom anyway. Let's see. No, I'm not going to do him yet. Hang on. Let's see if I have any questions here. Thank you, Joyce. I'm glad you could join now. Yeah, I'm blowing air. Oh, man. What do you do? I blow air. In my graphic arts days, I used to what they call strip negatives onto the plates so they could use them in the printer. And so the actual position was nicknamed stripper. So you can imagine people's reaction. If they weren't in the industry, they always looked at me like, you do what? But if they were in the industry, they knew what I was talking about. But it was funny. It was always kind of that eye catcher. Get the handle. I think that'll be real pretty. Okay. Now I'm going to come back with some of my color. So this is the salmon, so he's really a good blending color too. He doesn't stand out very strong. This is the sandal, I believe. Nope, it's Peach Bellini. He is one of my favorite colors. This one really stands out. So look at that. Okay, that kind of went a little nuts. Try that again. There we go. Like I said, where that ink kind of puddles up, just get one of your colors that's real translucent, or get some blending solution or alcohol and drop on there, and it'll mix those colors again for you so you can change that look. Sandal. I'm trying to get a little background color there. There we go. But they want to run away on these round cups, so you got to kind of be on it. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. Yeah, she's got a beautiful king size headboard she wants me to work with. Projects get pretty big around here. And I have to say, I just love my dad, because no matter what my mom has come up with, he never has any reaction negative. It's always, yeah, okay, honey, that's great. You know, a lot of people would be like, wait a minute, you're doing what with my king size bed? I'm also hoping that by working with it this way, without ink in the canister, that I'm getting more and more comfortable with the gun, so that when I do have ink in it, I'll know exactly how it's handled, how to move it better. So this is a nice way to get started, I think. Been doing a lot of video exploration on the airbrush. That's pretty cool there. Well, that's on the tape, actually. I don't have to worry about that. And the beer mugs, I went ahead and taped off a lip, by the way. It's a half-inch lip, because they're not always, you know, obviously they're not going to use a straw to suck their beer, so so I wanted to give them the ability to have a clear area there. handles. Did you see that too? Okay. Yeah, you can't see that part very well. There we go. So I'm getting down in here underneath the handle. So he's coming along nice. He's building some dimension. Let me get you a little closer here. Oh, come on, camera. There you go. That's a better view, yeah. Okay, focus. Oh, the epoxy to the handle, yeah, that's going to be a little tricky. But I'm hoping that what I can do is with my glove, I'm going to put a thin coat on it. It might need a couple. And he'll just spin around with the cup, so that should work. Just got to get your hands dirty once in a while. Okay, so he's coming along. A little bit more I want to change on it, probably. And actually, I want to grab, let's see. Thinking maybe this one, actually. Might be enough. Oop. That one comes up fast. That is more than I wanted on that. Let me turn him up so I can see it better. Okay, so lesson learned. I think in the future of doing this on the next cup, I'm going to do the handle first. Because he's wanting to run down and he gets into some of the pieces I had done. Yeah, this can be pretty addictive. I mean, if you like coloring, you know, like I said, and playing with your alcohol inks now, this definitely changes the game. Peacock feathers, yeah. It's got the same colors, doesn't it? I saw somebody took an actual peacock feather and put it on a cup. I was like, wow. There we go. Got in a little bit more of that peach color. A few spots there I want to bring that into. Right there, it got a little dark. So I'm seeing some really beautiful pieces you guys are doing and sharing. You definitely have the ability to make some beautiful cups. Keep it going. Encourage those of us in the group that are new and afraid to do something or share it. You know, that's how we learn. Bye, Lisa. Thanks for joining. Yeah, Joyce, that was a cool looking cup, wasn't it? That is neat. So other than just kind of cleaning up some of these areas that got a little heavy, this cup is almost done, I'd say. There we go. Like that. And I was going to share real quick too. Let me turn off this guy here. All right. So that is that cup. Let's get you back up here for a minute. Here, I'll have you look at that for a second. I'm going to grab this alcohol container I want to show you. Okay, let me grab this one. All right, so I don't know how many of you have bought the Panada brand of alcohol ink, which I love too. I mean, they're all nice. I really haven't had any problems with them, with any that I could say I'm not going to get. Okay, let me get you back up here. Ooh, there we go. All right, so I bought these big bottles, and again, I use these in my paintings and stuff too. So I have the metal colors, so I have silver, gold, brass, and there's one more that I bought like this. And you have to shake them really good. They've got little ball bearings in there, you know, and you get the alcohol ink all mixed up real good. These things are great, but for this kind of project, right, where we're putting little bits on our cups, this bottle is not conducive to that. So what I did was on Amazon, again, I bought these bottles, these little bottles. They come with two different cap choices. You can do this cap or another one with a needle on it. And I just poured the stuff in there and put that little nipple on there. They have another nipple that's like a needle, but I like that, right? So it's just like the ones we have here. So now I can manage these in these small bottles, right? So I just want to share that with you. Amazon, and they come in a big bag. Let me show you. They come in this big bag, and here's all the nipple choices. So you got caps, they're little holders, you know, if you don't want the cap to go flying away. There's the little, here's the needle. So you can do that one if you want real precision and where you're putting those, and versus the one I have on there. And then the caps for them. And then the bottles, right? And they even came with some funnels, which I needed, you know, little funnels to put the alcohol ink into the bottle without spilling it everywhere. So just something you might want to be aware of. It's a nice way to separate out your inks if they're too big for you. Go up here, yeah. So that's what we have today. I'm trying to think. I'm going to do, I've got a wood grain I'm going to put pelicans on. I've already done the wood grain on him. The blue one I think we did on a live. So I'm going back now and I'm going to put pelicans on that one. So I've got a coat I've got to put on him. I'm trying to think what I have come up. I know somebody wanted me, I think Chris wanted to know if I'm going to do any crackle. Is anybody else interested in crackle? Because I don't have any in my inventory right now. So I could probably make one. Oh, I'm doing a tennis cup too. That's different. Oh, and I've got ink all over my screen. I see little speckles. So I'll be cleaning up my laptop. Yeah, are you interested in doing crackle cups? Crackle paint? That's a neat look. I don't have one to show you. But it to me, it's a resemblance of the ocean environment, right? You've got your weathered wood look, kind of look. Yeah, so I might do one of those here coming up on a live. But like I said, I've got the other layers to do on the peekaboo, so I'm going to have to cut the vinyl, and I know I'll have a live to show that. And then we're going to do I think it'll just be a live for the Turner. And that's all we're going to do for that live. And then sometime this weekend, I will do some more on the cups. Okay, so stay tuned there. And I'm going to get my microphone fixed so we can use our other screen. So that's all I have for tonight. If you have something you want to learn or something you're interested in seeing, please let me know. Message me, let me know, and that way I can put it on the list. And as I'm going through this stuff, I can figure out, what options we want to work with. Oh my goodness, I got alcohol all over this thing. Good thing it's a black laptop. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for joining me, and hope to see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.